In September of 2020, the City and Borough of Juneau Assembly appropriated Federal CARES Act funding to assist 135 Juneau artists. In the spirit of the Works Projects Administration of the 1930s era, the Juneau ArtWorks program reflects the zeitgeist of the public health emergency and will remind us of how our community responded to the COVID-19 pandemic.
I am Deb Tempel, and I'm a resident of Auk Bay, Alaska. I created a quilt that is 110 by 110, or a king-size quilt. The blocks were made exclusively from scraps from the Juneau Mask Maker organization. And these were just pieces of fabric. I see them walking around town on masks today. The block I used, I saw at the Haynes Fair in 2019, and it was a beautiful scrappy quilt. And from a distance, it just had every color of the rainbow. When I got up closer to it, I realized it was just a bazillion scraps from someone's scrap pile. And I thought, oh, maybe someday I'll have enough scraps to make something this beautiful. Well, that day came because I was volunteering at the Juneau Mask Makers organization, and we were filling boxes of scraps. And I thought, oh, I'm going to take these home if that's okay. I could put these to use. I can make a scrap quilt like I saw. A quilt is made of a top, a batting, and a bottom, and it's long arm quilted. And the long armer that quilted it is a local woman, Carrie Spencer, and she stitched it with a toilet paper roll becoming unraveled. So you have to look really, really close, but we found that the toilet paper roll seemed to be a symbol of COVID because of people in their toilet paper hoarding. So that is kind of a fun antidote of it. I think I brought in the orange color to emphasize how we saw COVID portrayed in the world as that globby virus, orange-red virus. But also color. I think you can look beyond a dark time in our history and also see beauty. So I started by using an AccuCut quilt machine, which basically you feed it with this fabric and it cuts these perfect little things out. You don't have to measure, it just rolls them out. So I cut on the dining room table. And then I had piles of everything, shoe boxes full of the different squares I needed. And I just started assembling. And then when all those blocks were done, I made a strip of 110 inches full of blocks. So when I finally assembled 110 inches by 110 inches, the whole living room was full of a quilt. I think I was awarded the project in October, and it was due by January 1st. So I was sewing a lot that fall. I definitely had more time in my sewing studio than I'd ever had before. I've probably made about a dozen quilts. It's a new hobby to me of about a decade. My kids are all grown up hobby. And the first quilt I made is hanging right there. It's a beautiful handcraft that everything is unique. Nothing is replicated identically. Quilting is a big Pandora's box when it comes to fiber arts, and I love it. I'm a woman of faith, and so every mask I sewed, I was praying. Every COVID block that went into that quilt, I'm staring out my window and thinking about life and praying for the people around me and our healthcare professionals who really are the heroes of the decade. When I see it at the hospital, it just kind of brings a smile to my face, and it brightens up the room because it's every color of the rainbow, and I really like that it's at the hospital. The healthcare workers were the first we were getting masks to, and so I think when they know the story behind the quilt of, oh, this was made from scraps, my wish would be that they see the hope that together we can get through this pandemic.